Day 2, it's almost noon already. I had to wait for the rain to stop. I really can't, even with a light, I can't work under here and really see what I need to see. So I had to wait until I could get some daylight going here. Anyway, almost ready to install these 2 corner pieces. I've got my drains sorted. Don't judge. 2 clamps would be nice on each connection, but it's not below the water line. It's a deck drain. It'll be fine. And it's going to work. And this is off-the-shelf, non-marine stuff. That's going to go in there like that. Gonna have to bed it, screw it down, yada yada. I also have to pre-drill my holes. Oh, that's not right. Because I'm gonna drill pilot into the beams and then put some live caulk in the holes. I'm not really gonna bed these per se. I'm just gonna bed the screw penetration, so I'm only gonna have room for 1 there if I'm lucky, and it's gonna get buried under the trim. Oh well. It looks like the rain's gonna be intermittent. I don't know, I may wind up setting up the light because I have to peel this back and then cover up again. Should I do that now? Let me get started with these. So the plan, got brand new Forstner bit, and I've got the appropriate plug cutter. We're going to counterbore just much as I did on the hull and everything. Going to counterbore. Haven't chosen my depth yet. Not that far. Probably just, instead of having to tape it, if I just go to the shoulder of the head there, that'll be fine. And then countersink beyond that. And then I'm going to make a bunch of plugs out of the same stock. No splintering, no splitting, that's good. It's a brand new bit, so. That's going to be one to keep an eye on, because you really should never drill that close to an edge. But that's my inboard seam, that's my bulwark. It is what it is, unless I want to change the whole thing, and I don't. The next question is, will my countersink bit fit in that hole? I didn't check that yet. That is just about right for my brandy new silicon bronze screws. I got these from the chandlery just because I kind of forgot I needed to order more. They're Phillips, which is unfortunate, but it'll be okay. I'm not planning on taking them out anytime soon. That'll be somebody else's problem. Perfect match. Right, so when I countersink this, I'm going to simultaneously pilot into somewhat into the beam. I put the drain back in there just to make absolutely sure that I'm not trapping this at some strange angle. Not the ideal way to check for square, but the bulkhead is pretty straight, so I've been using that as my reference. Even this trim, I can afford a tiny error way out here, but you know how that works. If you've ever done something like this, laid a floor or a deck, as you go on and on, each small variation will add up into a big mess. Maybe check out this ply face. That's looking better. Yeah, maybe this teak trim isn't the best thing to. Well, that's no good either. This beam is fairly square, but I don't. I think we've got it. Yeah, man, that's what I'm talking about. Fit? Yeah, just barely. Well, can I get deep enough though to countersink? I don't know. Kinda. This tapered hole wants to begin where that ends. Yeah, that's if I go to this again to the collar for my depth, which is as far as I can go. That should get me in the realm. With the clamp. And we just get a couple in temporarily. Well, I only have one bit appropriate for these screws, but it only works with this gun, so I can't extend it. So I'm gonna have to do it through the piece and then into the beams separately. Pause for a moment because I got life cock all over my hands. It never fails. No, I wish I had another gun. I don't have another caulk on, so I gotta swap tubes here. I'm using the life caulk where it's not ever going to be seen, just because I have plenty of it and it's good. Whereas I'm probably going to come after the fact and remask this when someday, if it ever stops raining, I'll remask this and get a bead of the black Sikaflex in there. But for now, easy. Let's see if I can get a couple screws in here, huh? Get that on me. Yeah? Going in your hole or what? Is that your hole? I'll have to use the hand driver for these two guys, I think. Get some wax on there. Hand drivers, yeah. That's going to be a very tricky place to drive a plug, but we'll figure it out. Pilot could stand to be a little bit bigger. It'll be all right though. Just gonna dry fit this one more time, even though nothing should have changed. Wouldn't be the first time I thought I had everything figured out and it was wrong. Yeah, kind of like this time. What? Nothing moved, nothing changed. Why won't it go in now? Was I ever able to get it? Yeah, I was able to get it in and out with this in place. That's fine. That's super duper. All right, you went in there. You're gonna come out. Where's it binding? It's not the upper hole. It's down there. It's the beamage. Get the wheel in there. Okay. That freaking ice cream truck is driving me batty. I hate that. Here we are. I left the masking on the drain itself and I already started doing a little bit. Shouldn't have done that. I still have to sand a little more here, and I'll know to stop when I start scratching that paper tape. I also realized today that when I got these drains, they didn't come with the screws. I don't have any stainless screws the right size handy, and it's Sunday, and I don't want to go shopping today. I need to get stuff done here, so I just stuck a couple of bronze screws in there to let it sit while the Sika, that whole counterboard area, I slathered with Sikaflex. Was hoping for a little more squeeze out, but that's okay. It's probably for the best, really. In due course, probably after I do my plugs, which I might do today if I can get the other side. If I can get the other side done a little faster than this one, I'll be putting plugs in here. And then at some point after I trim them off, maybe if there's a drier day coming up, I'm going to leave this tarp up for a while, obviously. I'm going to backfill with a very thin bead of Sikaflex. And then, yeah, we'll start laying normal planks. I'll be done with this headache for a little while and get into the new headaches. Okay, I think that's it for today. Slow going, but we got the 2 triangle pieces in. I've got my drains hooked up. Not time to do a test yet, but I'm sure it's going to drain just fine. I'm not even going to bother priming these yet. I just finished fitting these 2, the first straight planks, and that's pretty fair. I'm going to go over everything with a flexible sanding board at least. I've been finding that I have to shave quite a bit off just to get them tucked under the bell works with the old power planer. I'm going to measure these in a minute and then call it a day. I'm going to put the tarp back, put a couple things away. I think we're expecting weather like this the next few days. I don't mind in that it's cool. It's just when the rain starts, it kind of sucks because then I have to pull the tarp back over and all kinds of stuff. And I can't really do my cutting on the ground with the chop saw when it's raining. But we're getting there. It seems like this might actually work. All right, I think starting with these, my hole pattern is going to be pretty much the same. So I think I'm going to take a minute and make a marking template so I don't have to measure it out, and something I can just line up with the beam so I know that I'm going into the beam. I can do that for every point on all these. Is that the other one? Yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah, a three-dimensional jig would be better, but this isn't that bad. They will all look fine, I'm sure, and they'll hold well. That's all that really matters. Slow this bad boy down a little bit. Check my measurement real quick. .41 7/16. Off by maybe a 32nd, which is acceptable at this point. But if that difference grows, the most important thing is to, well, this is not the best angle. If I get on deck and look aft, not so much to make sure the seams are lined up with each other, but that they're parallel or appear to be, you know? I think that's fine. Right. I can see now this hole is out of alignment. It has to come forward more. I thought it didn't want to, but yeah, there's a gap there. I kind of have to pull it back out to drive it forward. I can't really. Maybe I can get something in there. I gotta drive the forward end in first. Really make sure it's in there. There we go. That's more like it. If any of them don't want to sit still like this so much, I'll probably have to clamp them down when I do all this, but I'm trying to avoid making the seams too tight right now, because this wood, it's a little on the green side, and it's going to change a lot. It could shrink a lot, it could expand a lot. I don't want to risk bad things happening if I've got this all caulked with a super tight mechanical fit, and then a lot of caulk jammed in there. And then if these swell a lot, it could create some serious problems. I thought about bedding these with primer or something, but for a topside thing, I don't think it's going to be needed. The wax definitely helps them go in, and there's going to be it's going to bed itself. The threads are going to bed themselves in a nice layer of life caulk. Finish that by hand before I mangle it. By the way, germane to something I spoke of earlier, I haven't had a kerf yet. I've managed to be able to clamp them down and screw them in place, but a lot of them do need a little thickness planing. I made them just a little bit thicker than they have to be, with the idea being that I'm going to fair over everything later after I do the plugs and trim them flush. I'm going to re-fair, but just to get them in place, just to tuck them under here, I have to take a little bit off some of them. Yeah, this one's a little too thick in general, and I got some burn marks from my home planer. Surface planer. So I think I'm just going to give the whole top of this thing a lick. Yeah, this is how I can tell I'm getting tired. I forgot to butter this with, I forgot to do the life caulk. But if we're real lucky, these might go back in the holes that, that they came out of. But yeah, they all gotta come out. I'm a shipwright. Ha ha. I'm a do-it-yourselfer on the YouTubes. Oh God. Yeah, that was supposed to be a test fit, and to get the holes ready in at the correct angle. I mean, I had to do that anyway. I was about to walk away from it. Actually, normally, what was I going to say? Normally, after I get my pilot holes done / countersink, then I take them off and do the caulk. I think I'm going to prime this, and while it's drying, go get something to eat, and then real quick after I come back, screw it back down with the caulk and call that a thing. Definitely a hard day's work. I started a little late, I will admit. I didn't wasn't really at it till, I don't know, 9:30. And I took a quick lunch. Not nearly enough food. I'm feeling it. I really wish I could cook on the boat because I'm spending a lot of money on takeout, but there's really There's really no way right now. I'm even out of jet boil fuel. I've been making coffee in the morning. You can't really cook on that particular jet boil. Right? I'm getting her done, and I'm getting her done right. Well, by my lights anyway. Perfect, no. Good enough, and then some. I think this deck is going to qualify in that department. And as I've said before, sure, it's going to leak. Of course it's going to leak. But when it leaks, I'll know exactly where it's leaking. And when it started. I'll know right away. I won't wait after 10 years maybe and discover half the structure of the aft portion of the boat is rotten away because of leaks that were not noticed. So say what you want about a laid deck. They all leak. Everything leaks. Sooner or later, every kind of deck leaks. All right, I'm just going to leave that there. I got to remember to butter it up with the caulk, which I'm going to leave here so I'll see it and I'll remember. Yeah, food, right. I think it stopped not raining. But I'm not going to be a fool and take the tarp down. I'm going to close the companionway hatch too. What do I want to eat? Do I want Chinese? I don't know. Well, it's officially after beer o'clock, and it's a good rule to not work after beer o'clock. I don't drink beer during the day when I'm working, even if it's really hot. But, you know, even good rules can stand a little bending. And I'm so close to being done with this one plank that I really, really just need. I won't be able to sleep, you know. Now, as I lay the deck, I have places to put things now, but the ugly flip side of that is I have to be really careful about setting down things like this or cans of paint on the deck. But still, it'll be nice to know I don't have to vacuum the bilge again. I've really let it go. I'm letting a lot of dust and stuff get down there this time because it's not going to be that bad to clean it once, but there's no point in cleaning it several times. It's an onerous task. It really is. And even since I started this refit, I would say that bilge is cleaner than it's been in decades. Oh dear. I'm gonna have to repaint that anyway, but still. We have to maintain certain standards, you know. Will it go back where it was? Let's find out. Right. So far, most of my seams are light tight or close enough that as soon as they get a little wet, they will be light tight. But I think as a precaution, I'm going to lay one strand of string in the bottom of every one of these seams before I start driving oakum. I think I missed my hole. I missed the hole? No, I don't think so. We have a large gap underneath here. I didn't think I'd have to, but I guess I gotta reclamp it. The next one, which is very long, will probably need to be kerfed. But this one, I think, even though it's being a little bit cranky, I can make it lie down. Just like that. Very large gap. There we go. Yeah, you can see it's a lot more coplanar now too, even though these aren't precisely the same thickness. On purpose, because I got to fair everything. Don't want to dent in there, but I'm not squeezing it quite that hard yet. Okay, well, let's try this now. Some of these are a shade too deep, but again, I'm going to be taking stuff off the top. I don't want to ever see plugs falling out of here because they've gotten too thin. That's been my nightmare on the rest of all of the decks on this boat since day one, because the fastenings are definitely the weak point, you know, definitely. All right, I got to snug this up a little bit. Shouldn't do this, but I'm curious. What's going on there? That ain't cool. That ain't good at all. I'll leave that under there for a minute. Why is it doing that? It's bouncing on something at the end. Pushing at the very end here. There it goes. I think it's not really, I thought it was hitting the frame of the boat, but it's not. It's just a little, just not a straight cut is what it's all about. And it's lying down, very nice. How about here? This one? This one's laying down. Can't get my thumbnail under it. Stupid, 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 stupid. I resent that bird. Who are you calling stupid? Alright. Now we go for this one. It really does sound like he's saying stupid. When I test fit it, it was light tight. I think it may have scooted back a hair, and now it's bumping. The end of the plank is bumping the frame, but I don't want to take it all apart and mess up the caulk and everything just so I can cut a notch in the end of it. Pretty good day, pretty good day. It's kind of nice to be done working for the day, but I wish I had 8 hours more daylight. I'd take a nap or something and have a stretch and take a walk and get right back on it, but kind of have to call it quits for the evening. I don't know if I think I'll leave the tarp back until I hear it not raining again. I'm not going to go to sleep yet, not till after it's dark. Oh, there is one little thing I want to do. I got some proper stainless screws for the drain. I guess I ought to leave the tape on. Oh, don't you do that. These are nice little bronze screws, but I don't want to mix metals, and it'll look cooler if it's stainless. I like the check valve thing, even though it's kind of silly because I don't have check valves on the lower drains in the cockpit tub. However, I have thoughts and feelings about how to rectify that. Oh, for heaven's sake, I dropped one in the bilge. And I think they're too big anyway. No, they're just right. Oh, Well, the one that's in the bilge I'll get tomorrow. I'm not just gonna do this side tonight. Oh yeah, just made that decision. And they're stainless, so you can't fish for them with a magnet. It kind of sucks. Nice. Look, I can put stuff on the deck. How cool is that? Not really. If their tape is trapped under there, I'll back them out a little bit later. Pretty darn solid. Oh yeah. Pretty grippy. Once it weathers a little bit, it'll be grippier, and the Sikaflex itself is a little grippy. Nice. Definitely firmer than the old deck. When the old deck was new, I'm sure it was as firm as this, but I'm happy. I think I made the right choice here. 1.25 inches of really not premium grade black locust, but it's not all sawn quite correctly. It should all be, well, let me see. Yeah, well, that's not great, but you see quarter sawn, so the grain is pretty much standing up. Yeah, this is kind of like best case scenario. Quite a bit of what I have is like that, but not all of it. It's going to be spectacular. It'll be interesting to see how the color changes. It should get darker. It's never going to look exactly like teak, but I'm not trying to fool anybody. In the future, if this lasts, I don't know, 2 years without any alarming issues, I'm gonna definitely do the mid deck the same way. There's a bunch of small areas of rot, some of which I've shown you. It wasn't an emergency like all this was, but it's got to be done. I think I will probably redo the seams. I'll reef out all the Sikaflex or whatever they put in there and redo it with Sikaflex, do it properly, and try to redo all of the screw plugs, back out every screw. At which point I may as well be tearing it up, right? Yeah, I know. It's a tough call, but it's not happening this time. If $10,000 and 10 people suddenly showed up, we could get it done before we launch, but I'd really like to do it indoors because it means this deck would be open for days and days and days. The whole boat would be open. Anyway, realizing I'd forget by the morning and then be fuming because I was a screw short, I decided to take a look, and look at this. It took less than 2 minutes, and there she is, right in that little cranny. Come on out here. Come to Papa. No. Where'd you go? I don't want to have to put my shoulders in here. I really don't. Oh, there it is. Oh. Booyah. Well, today's the big day for Doug and Lyle and old dry Cooder. Let's go see what happens. sitting pretty high. You got to get some beer and wine in there immediately.
There you go. You need a minute to let it warm up.
You might want to fend off the bow there. It might hook on that piling. Ooh, yeah. Fantastic.
Something like a Honda, right?
Yeah, I'm really happy for them with that boat.
Yeah. Think about that.
For the price of the engine, they got it.
Yeah. For as obscure and nobody else wanted it as that boat was. I mean, it's pretty cool.
They're kind of legendary.
What is it?
It's a Seafarer.
Seafarer.
24.
I was like a
It's all fiberglass. I can't remember the year. 70, early 70s.
it was like one of the trailer sailor things back in the day, like
Yeah.
a boat that anybody could have.
There was a guy, I forget his name, in the 80s. There was a guy who sailed one solo from LA to Honolulu, and he was blind.
Oh,
He had some kind of talking nav system, but I mean, he had to go on deck and deal with everything. I'm sure it was a hairy ride, but it can be done. His was a 25.
if he
I think.
lost his mast mid-Pacific, what do you know?
Oh, he would probably know.
Captain First Mate are having some technical difficulties.
They're married. They don't iron it out. They've done some sailing. The two of them sailed his Hobie 16 up to New York Harbor from Atlantic Highlands.
Huh.
So,
So what, 20 miles, 30 miles?
yeah, in a Hobie 16.
Yeah.
I don't think they even had a radio or a chart.
Look for this guy's
Lyle's been on sailboats forever. She's never owned one before. She used to live on St. John in the USVIs. Had a lot of friends with boats. They're going the wrong way. Oh, they're going to try to back her in. That's right.
They have different jaws where Hoover's at the wheel. He's like, "Hi, sir. I can't take this abuse much longer."
Well, it's been a while since I had to pass basic seamanship. You didn't tell me how long you wanted it. You know that guy, Lou Sozed?
Yeah, that's from the ship, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
have you
love
been
that.
following the Orca
He's
replica
building
thing?
the new Orca.
Yeah.
I love that. I watched his Transom episode yesterday.
Yeah, I watch every one of them.
Yeah, I love that. What was the first work skiff he built? The flat bottom work skiff?
Yeah.
I love that boat.
His shop is it's awesome. Everything he's got going on is cool, and he definitely knows his shit.
Yeah. I was talking to Jeremy about him the other day. Like, everybody in my town where I grew up in Massachusetts was that guy.
Oh, okay. Where you go? Oh.
I wasn't sure of the prop wash every time I turned it one way.
Yeah, I got the bow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to put the bow lines on for you, and then I'm going to push it back.
You look good up there, Lyle. One more. Be using this again for a while, which is fine by me. So this is the last, well, except for the two center ones. This is the last piece of this series of short ones. What I wound up doing here is I've rabbited these because it goes under, up against the plywood, this, and it will sort of be tied in. I'm going to put a cleat below eventually to sort of tie it into the existing plywood, which is in good shape. It just seemed a better alternative than trying to tear all of that out. It would have disturbed everything here. Anyway, the lay is going pretty good. I think I'm going to go home tonight or tomorrow. The weather's supposed to be horrific. Thunderstorms starting this afternoon and overnight through tomorrow. I'm going to need more of this wood. I'm going to need some wider pieces for the center, so I may as well go home. I got to work Sunday also in Newark, so I'll go home for a couple days, take care of all that, and then work all day Sunday, then come back here Monday, Tuesday, finish this deck next week, weather permitting. Next is to put a little bin just to seal up the ends. I haven't been shooting much of this whole process because I'm in. That doesn't really matter. I should have cleaned that up. But I've gotten in a groove, you know. Yesterday was almost a bust, mostly because I spent some time with Doug and Lyle in their boat, which was fun. I also had a couple beers aboard Bad Donato last night with her designer, builder, owner, Sam. I was going to shoot that. I brought the camera. He said it was okay. And of course, the battery died. The minute I set foot on board the boat, I didn't have the spare with me. And I was just too damn tired to go back to get it. Well, he's going to be around a while. He's got a bit more work to do on his boat. And I want to tell you more about him. He's an interesting guy. And that boat is not the only intriguing vessel that he owns or has built. But more on that later. I hope I can at least get him to talk about it on camera. It's pretty amazing. All right, so primer's the next thing. I have some here that I set aside. So this should be dry enough. Don't worry about that. It's going to get hidden. That was a little boo-boo with the router. Right, the bedding. Where is it? The one you're drilling, Sean, not that one. You need to see that edge. Okay. So much easier, even in wood, to drill after you punch the center. Edges of linseed oil. I'm going to put linseed oil in the seams again before I put the oak in, but it's just nice to seal the wood in between. Now, this stuff down here. Not really bedding it so much as bedding the screws. And meanwhile, very generous amount of this stuff in there. And if I ever have to take any of these out, it'll be easier to fight this than Sikaflex. Sikaflex is more adhesive. Jumping spider, hey buddy. Hey, welcome aboard. Hi. Well, I don't have a macro lens, so no, you can't say hi to the people. Stay out of the sun, dude. You'll dry up and blow away. I love jumping spiders. Harmless, good little hunters. Nice. Yeah, I just stopped to check this gap again. My error has wandered. to the inside of the bevel. It's just shy of 18/7/8. Here it's just proud of 19. What happened? Better. So it goes so far at this length. All right. I don't know if it's going to work. Yeah, a little tiny bit better, but I'm going to have to figure out. I think I'm going to wind up just compensating in the center seam. Yeah, this error is getting bad enough now that I can actually see it. I think what I got to do is I got to start tapering these a little. I'm going to shave. I'm going to try to plane a little bit off that and the next one. So we are now at just about 7 there, and 7 and 1/8. Well, it's about 1:30 now. I should pause to eat and try to cool off a little bit. It's hot. I'm hiding under this tarp now. I have half a mind to flip it so the silver side is out, but it's so far gone, not worth it. When I rigged it, it was still getting below freezing, so I wanted the brown to absorb the sun. I think what I'm going to do, though, after lunch, if the storms aren't moving in earlier than forecast, I may cut up what I've got, maybe just fairly rough cuts, and just lay them in place so I can get a really good idea of how much more I need. With the lazarette hole, there's not a whole lot of material that has to go in here. I'm close, but I'm pretty sure I don't quite have enough. I may also have to put a carlin or some kind of support in near the edge of the lazarette to support the ends of the planks, because even if they're through bolted to that ring, it's going to be a little wiggly. I don't like it. I don't want the seams to start leaking. You know, the tighter everything is, the better. I also tonight got to start vacuuming in the bilge and the boat. It's a dusty mess. There was no point in rigging anything to try to catch this. To get it out, I would wind up spilling it all. It'll be all right. I'm not going to go crazy and try to get every speck, but before I seal up the rest of the deck, I want to try to make a dent. And the cockpit, I'm just going to let it fill with sawdust. It's fine with the tarp over everything. Man, I'd love to water test my new drains, but I got to seal these edges first. So yeah, that's what's up for the afternoon. Gonna get something to eat and a cool drink. Maybe go check on dry Cooder, make sure she's still okay. It's probably hot inside that boat. Otherwise, I'd hang out in the boat and eat lunch. But I'm babbling. I'm not even halfway through the day and I'm already shot. I got enough sleep last night. I don't know. Maybe one beer too many with Sam, maybe. No, not really. We didn't have that many. Anyway, I forgot to mention earlier, I did wind up taking Creelot's advice, and I tried that one there. Is each of those are the longest planks in this whole layout, and I did need to curve it to bend it flatter. I just went in 3/8 of an inch, and that seems to be the answer with this wood anyway. Closer together, but not as deep. and it worked perfectly. That went on there without any stress at all. I had to clamp it, but I think it's going to be okay, and I don't think I'll compromise it. Or the seams. It's possible. I don't know. I don't think they're going to interfere with the seams in this job. Definitely don't have enough stock. I don't even really have, well, I got one piece long enough to do my 44, one of them. I don't even have a bevel on it yet for some reason. I don't want to start with the short. I kind of want to start with the shorter ones up there, but I want to keep moving towards the middle just to make sure. The error plays out here. As a result, the two center ones all the way from the back to the front are going to be 3 5/8 wide, not 3 inches. It'll look fine. The cowl vent hole is going to straddle the seam, so that's no big deal. This ring, though, this is roughly the dimensions of the hatch ring. It's a little bit wider. The way it was originally mounted, there were no fasteners in here. I think I'm going to keep it that way because they're going to be right on a seam. Each of these dots represents a hole for a bolt. Yeah, I don't want to go through the seams. I think it'll be fine. Just bed the snot out of it. It's very thick and rigid. It's got to be, I don't know, almost 3/8 of an inch thick cast aluminum. Very rigid. But I place it in here so it's going to be just hanging on these two. As far as supporting the planks goes, this one's going to have a bolt through it, so it should be happy. This one, I may need to, I think just a small block between planks will be the answer there instead of laying in a carlin here. And same up there. We got a hole there, we don't have a hole there. So it's really just those 4 locations. Actually, this one probably won't need anything because it's going to be screwed here, and being longer, it's going to be screwed down there. I don't know, maybe just to, nah, it'll be fine. Yeah. Ideally, I'd love to have another aluminum ring that traps everything, but that would get weird over here, wouldn't it? So, yeah, you know. I don't think I'm gonna cut any more of this stuff today. The sun is making me unhappy. And there's definitely, the forecast is saying 7 or 8 p.m., but I think it could get weird before that. There's some towering cumulonimbus to the southwest slowly making their way over here. Yeah, it's going to be enough trouble to clean up. Yeah, the only weirdness back here is going to be this piece. If I make it full length with a notch, I'm not going to be able to get it in place around the bit. Also, it's going to make it hard to have a decent caulking bevel and have anything left over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a butt joint right here. I'll put a bevel on it. That'll be fine. Bad, the 905 is going back in the water. How's she doing, Sam?
I think she's gonna be fun.